JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 20th of October 2022. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. Now then guys, jumping into the charts, as always, Nikkei 225, let's start off with that one. We drifted below the 27,000 mark, and but before that we drifted below the 27,180 mark, that one that I talked about previously, and I said that if we fall below it, I'm going to aim for this correction to the upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of October. So, yep, we have managed to make half of the way, or I would say a little bit more than half, if we consider this low. But basically, long story short, we have remained above the 21-day EMA and the psychological 27,000 mark. So of course that kind of raises a few concerns, because in a way, I mean, I was hoping to see maybe a stronger little move here, but still not everything is lost. We could still see a drift lower. The 21-day EMA could have been seen just as a temporary pit stop for the bears. And we could see maybe we could end up seeing a move towards this upside support line. So again, if you're looking for something like larger extensions to the downside, then of course a break of this upside line would be needed, and maybe also a drop. Let me just correct this a little bit. A drop below this 26,780 territory, somewhere around here, would be needed. So a nice good drop below it, yep, may invite more sellers into the game. For the upside, now previously I talked about this level, and to be honest, I'm going to stick to it, because that's the 27,400 zone, roughly around here. Because if we push through this one, we could also see a push above the 200-day EMA and maybe a potential move towards this downside line taken from the high of the 17th of August. Shanghai Composite, just a quick update. Not much is happening here. I mean, we've drifted lower. We fell below this 3,036, but as I said before yesterday, ideally I would prefer to see a drop below the 2,987 territory right here. That's the inside swing high of the 11th of October, and then we could go from there. At the moment, we're just kind of bouncing around here, so I'm not really, getting too excited with this index unless it starts popping above the 3,100 level. Now that's going to be a little different story. Then we could see a larger correction here to the upside, because don't forget that we're still trading below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 5th of July, guys. Now, ASX 200, the Australian index. Okay, so we have declined, and we've declined back below this downside line. So meaning that, well, actually we have to admit that this downside line is not really as important, to be honest. So yep, we can see that it broke back below it. However, we can reuse it and we can recycle it. Always recycle, guys. There we go. We can reuse it this way, and maybe this could play out. Again, there's a lot of maybes here because, well, it's not really clear. And to be honest, even with this upside line, I'm not really focusing on it too much, because basically we if we push back above this hurdle, this 6,750 zone, because it provided good resistance and support in the past. Yes, today it dropped back below it, but it just kind of confirmed the idea where, let's say, if we fall back below this hurdle, then we could see a move lower, and this is where the 21-day EMA provided support. If we do rebound from here, I would prefer to wait for a move back above this 6,750 zone. If we clear that, then yes, I'll go to the upside, and then we could, go from there basically. Now, of course, a certain level to keep an eye on here as well. This is 6,807. Marked by the current highest point of October. A nice good clearance of it may attract even more buyers because a forthcoming higher high would be confirmed. For the downside, even if we break this upside line, I still prefer to wait for a drop below the 6,610 zone right here in order to go lower. Now the German index, DAX. So yesterday we declined a little bit, not much. So it's still all fine. I mean, we closed yesterday above the 12,670 zone. If we take a look at the cash index right now, we can see that we are still above this hurdle, above this highlighted territory. So in a way, everything's still looking quite positive-ish, because basically from the short-term perspective, because look, I mean, if this area continues to hold, we might see a rebound, a push higher. But the reason why I'm saying ish is because we do have this downside line that we need to kind of keep in mind, which is taken from the high of the 5th of January of this year. In a way, as you can see here, for the whole year, we have been declining, just forming these lower highs here. Of course, the question: can we see by the end of this year, can we see a break of this downside line? That would be spectacular to see, actually, because then maybe it could set the kind of the tone for next year. But again, it's at the moment we have to respect this downside line because so far it's kind of playing out. So basically, in a way, I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, then there is still potential for this to go higher as long as we stay above the 12,670 territory. If we start dropping back below it, I'll consider a correction here to the downside, and then we'll go from there. Nasdaq 100, guys. Nasdaq 100 continues to respect the falling channel, the boundaries of the falling channel, so everything's kind of, like I said, in line still. So we're stuck here. We're still sitting above the psychological 11,000 mark and above this 10,967 territory. So in order to go lower, I would like to see a drop below this hurdle, just for that, extra confirmation. If we do fall back below it, great, I'll go to the downside. But so far, I mean, I'm loving the fact that this falling channel is working out beautifully. So that's, that's like music to my eyes, if I can say it this way. Okay, so far, like I said, let's see if we can actually get a drop below the 10,967 territory. If we can, I'll go a little bit to the downside, maybe not exactly to this 10,440 level. This would be my ideal scenario, but maybe, like I said, at least towards let me just reuse this, maybe one of the levels here. I'll reuse this one. Maybe it's still around here, 10,677, approximately around here. And then we could kind of go from there. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average. So yesterday, the Dow was the kind of the least declining from the top three. If we can say it this way. Basically, the Nasdaq lost the most, then followed by the S&P, and then Dow. But still, it kind of ended the trading session near this area, near the upper side of this previously looked at range. And to be honest, somehow I really want to keep this as a possible range. I mean, just maybe considering this as just like a random breakout here. But again, of course, I do understand that, once it gets violated, then maybe it's no longer that. Then let's put it this way. I will probably look at it as a, not a range, but just a level. So I'll keep an eye on this level, this 30,454. The cash index currently is sitting at around 30,476, 75, something like that. So we're above yesterday's. We're above kind of this barrier, and of course yesterday's close. Of course, yesterday we closed below this hurdle, below that level. So that kind of gives us a bit of a problematic view here for the bulls, let's say. So I mean, I try to stick to my rules in a way. Of course, sometimes they don't work out, I have to admit, but most of the time they do work. And basically the fact that we have managed to stay below this hurdle, that's even by a little bit, that's yeah, that's kind of worrying me. So in a way, we could see some moves to the downside, maybe going today. However, I should say that, look, be very careful at the moment. I would say if we do remain below the 30,454, we're currently on the cash index right now, we're currently above it. But if it changes, if we quickly drop back below it, then yes, I'll aim initially for the 21-day EMA and then maybe for that 29,653 territory, and then we'll go from there. DXY, the dollar index. So this one's stuck here still. Not really doing, kind of not really, let's say, getting way too excited with it right now. I'm just observing it. We did rebound from this upside line. Okay, we're stuck here in between these two trend lines. So let's see which way we're going to break out. At the moment, I'm not touching this one. I'm just observing. So let's see how this is going to play out. Now, gold. Gold managed to reach my target. Great, mission accomplished. 1622. I've okay, just fell shy by just a few tenths of a point here to reach it. But so yeah, mission accomplished here. It's great. Yesterday I talked about this and I said that, look, if we drop below this 1642 territory, my next target is the 1622. We didn't reach it yesterday. We reached it this morning. That's fine. Absolutely great. Now what's next? Of course, now I am looking at this 1622. If we drop below this, then yep, the next target is not here, but I cannot really squeeze my arrow in here. Basically, it's the lowest point of September, the 1615 level. If we clear, if we kind of get a hold up there, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. Oh, and I think, let's see if this is gonna be the case. Look, I mean, where's that? I think it was in one of the pairs. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that I think this could be an interesting one. If this is a falling channel, no, not really. So no, it's not an ideal one. I think, let me just see if I can squeeze something out of this one. Yeah. Okay. Bear with me one moment, guys. Yep. Like this, and maybe like this. No. Okay, no, it's basically what I was trying to do here is I'm trying to kind of see if this is not one of those patterns which I've talked about previously, where we had a huge decline first, like a strong one, and then we get like a gradual decline within the falling channel. And actually, maybe it could be the case. So okay, that's quite interesting in that case, because then we could see it drift lower, but then could reverse back to the upside here very quickly. I mean, it could break out to the upside. So okay, I'm gonna keep this for now. This is quite interesting. At the moment, I'm still leaning towards the downside, but we have a very important area here. So let's see if this 1615 level provides some sort of support. If it does, then this is where this idea of this pattern could come in. Because whenever, like I said, we have a huge decline first, and then we get a gradual decline like that within like a organized channel, then we get a breakout to the upside. So yeah, so far it has been working. Let's see if this is going to work this time again. But at the moment, not now, until we get a clear break through this downside line, then I'll start considering this idea. Until then, I am just observing the price action, guys. So yeah, at the moment well, actually, I'm cautiously bearish as well. So like I said, as long as we remain in this channel, it is still to the downside. I'm trying to remember where did I draw this? I think it was one of the pairs, but okay, maybe I'll get to one of those. Maybe I still have it. Okay, now WTI oil, yep, okay, coming closer to this downside line. We're trying to break it. Let's see if we can do it. If we can, great. I'll go a little bit to the upside, especially if we push above the 21-day EMA. For the downside, pretty straightforward. I need to see a drop below this highlighted zone right here. I get it. There's quite a few levels here, not a single one. So basically, you could just keep an eye on this 82.92 level right there. If we drop below this, then yes, I'll go lower. So yeah, keep that in mind. Pretty straightforward on this one. I have talked about this already a few times, so basically the same analysis is valid. Now, ETC, USD. So again, in general, all the cryptos are boring right now, but I'm trying to find maybe like the more interesting one, at least a little bit. So yeah, we are dropping below the 22.80 zone right now. So okay, so that's one part of the idea that I talked about previously. I said that if we fall below the 22.80, my next target is the 22.17, which is marked by the low of the 21st of July, and then ideally I would like to see a move towards that 18 level. Now, of course, looking at this, I mean, you sure want to probably mark this little drop, this lowest point of October, near the current lowest point of October, near the 20.61 level, approximately around here. So you wouldn't be wrong if you would be targeting that one for now. And to be honest, let's do that. Let's. This is ideal, the 18 level. This is more maybe realistic. So let's see if we can reach that. But for that, I need to see a drop below the 22.17 level right there, where we are currently getting a slight hold up. Now, AUD USD. So beautiful control here of the pair by this downside line taken from the high of the 13th of September. So the idea is working out. I've talked about this already in my videos. I said that if this downside line provides resistance, then we could see a nice decline here, maybe even a move back to the downside, maybe towards that 0.6170. However, this is where I need to adjust certain things here. Now, I will continue aiming to the downside if we again drop below the 0.6254 area right here, where we're currently getting a hold up, because as you can see yesterday, this is where it found support again. This level, by the way, I think I need to scroll back here. This level is near the low of the 21st of April of 2020. That was a good support here. We're currently getting a nice hold up here again. Of course, we did violate it back here last week, but currently we're getting a nice little hold up, which means that let's not exclude a possibility here to see an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder here, head, and let's see if this is going to work out as a right shoulder. If it will, great. We could see a nice pop here to the upside. And if we do consider that, then certainly, as always, you need to wait for the break of the neckline. Because how many times we've seen where, you know, it could have been, it looked like a possible head and shoulders, doesn't matter, inverted, not inverted, and it kind of was working out, but then actually it got, you know, destroyed and just kind of ignored totally. And if it happens straight away, this is the thing with these head and shoulders patterns, it has to happen kind of straight away in a way, unless it's a very complex one. But we don't see, let's say, two shoulders here nowhere, two left shoulders, we don't see them. We see only one left shoulder, so that means either if it forms soon, like finishes off the right shoulder, then yes, we could see a nice breakout. But if it starts like moving up here, then getting a hold up, maybe then drifting back down, that's it. Ignore the whole, you know, idea. Maybe then you can just basically stick to the level and wait just, you know, for a breakout of the level. But there's probably already then less chance of, you know, having maybe a decent up move. Maybe there's going to be like something else forming. So, you know, you need to kind of always balance this out. At the moment, like I said, I am keeping an eye on this idea just because we're currently getting a hold up above the 0.6254. If we start dropping back below it, I'll ignore the head and shoulders pattern and just kind of maybe stick to this level as just a simple level, a simple potential breakout level. Now, USD JPY, just a little bit more, and it's 150. just a little bit more in this 150, and to be honest, I don't see a problem here of reaching it. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this is our 12th positive candle now happening. Now again, we are going for a correction. This is where maybe this idea of a head and shoulders pattern could work out, but again, let's not rush into this. For now, it's yeah, it's still to the upside. I mean, the 150 level, that's a good target, and certainly that's what I'm watching right now. And of course, it is frustrating for some bears. You know, it's just kind of, you're hoping maybe to see that little correction at some point, but hey, you know, maybe that one down day. I would say at the moment it's slowly grinding to the upside. We haven't seen a correction yet, but I'm somehow thinking that, hey, this, if a correction happens, it might be a strong one. Now, of course, should you start selling right now? Again, this is up to you guys. As much as you have to have your stop loss in place here, or you at least need to know how much you're willing to lose in case it's going to continue going against you here to the upside. So that's why it's a very tricky one. Unless you wait for a clear reversal signal and then do something about it, or you just kind of leave it for now, or just you just go in right now, but you have to have your, like I said, a vision of how much you're willing to lose in case it continues to push higher. And to be honest, look, I mean, we're 150, we're now kind of going to the upside. So yeah, look, it's quite an interesting one. Eventually it will correct lower, but when? That's a good question. At the moment, we are just aiming for the upside, and initially I'm aiming for that psychological 150 zone. After that, let's see what's going to happen. If we can clear this and move further north, okay, great. If we cannot, then, well, maybe we'll get that retracement. USD CAD, very quickly on this one. So, okay, this is quite interesting. Now, this could be forming a possible bearish flag here. Okay, now that's very, very interesting. So, as I said before, I need to see in order to push higher, I need to see a move above the 1.3833. So far, we're not getting that. So far, we're struggling with even a level lower than that. So near the, somewhere around that 1.3810. So yeah, if we do push above this 1.3833, then I'll go a little bit to the upside. For now, for the downside, I also cannot really get excited with the downside because again, if it is a bearish flag, then I need a confirmation breakout here, which is roughly below that 1.37 territory. If we drop below it, then yes, I'll go to the downside. USDCHF, this one's on the opposite side. I mean, this is just ripping. It's pushing higher, but we are near this key resistance level, which is roughly between the 1.0050 and the 1.0064. In order to go higher, I need to see a strong move, and I need to see the daily candle staying above the 1.0064 level. So far, we're not getting that, but again, it's just we're just starting the day here in Europe. So let's see if we can actually go further north. However, again, be very careful. Right now, DXY is kind of in this little weird mode. Because the stock market seems to be right now. We are in the earnings season. Some companies, actually, a lot of companies are reporting good results. So the DXY, the dollar index, I mean, the dollar itself is kind of not seen as the most strongest safe haven, let's put it this way. So there's not really much need for the safe haven at the moment. It's always a game, guys. It's always a play, timing game here. So at the moment, let's put it this way. I am observing this one. This looks quite positive, but I need that strong confirmation break. At the moment, I'm just kind of worried that it might reverse back to the downside, and then we could see something else here. But again, that's just an idea. USD South African Rand. Okay, so look, yesterday I talked about this. We were still somewhere around here. I said that in order to go lower, I need that confirmation break, because, well, this could happen. And this is where, this is where I always say, wait for that confirmation break. So far, we had a reversal and we pushed back above the 18.22 territory, somewhere around here. To be honest, this level, I think it's already getting washed up. So I think this is the key area to watch right now. This 18.3660 or 3659, roughly around here. Because so far we're getting a nice hold up here. If we pop above this, then yes, I'll go to the upside. However, if it holds, a bit of a decline here could be possible. GBPUSD. So yeah, this one broke. Well, actually, didn't really break. It just kind of, the candle opened below this upside line, so it's not really, I don't really like these. So that means that we can get rid of this upside line, no longer needed, and we can just stick to some of the levels instead. So for the upside, I would like to see a push above the 1.1496. I already mentioned that. For the downside, well, the fact that we dropped back below the 1.1240, of course, creates a bit of negativity. However, we did do the same thing here back on the 14th of October, and look at the next day, we pushed back to the upside strongly. So that's why I'm not gonna actually even stick to this level. This level can go away. Instead, I would say this way: as long as we remain below the 21-day EMA, I'll continue aiming lower. If we start pushing back above it, this is where it could be the cue for, for a little bit of upside. Gbpchf. This one is with a beautiful flag here. Now, if we look at GBPUSD as well, I mean, this one's unclear. So if this suddenly starts popping, GBPCHF starts popping higher, well, this is where it could become quite interesting, because look, I mean, in general, we are forming something of a bullish flag. Okay, but although the barrier for the upside could be somewhere from around here, 1.30, 1.1357, actually, I would prefer to wait for a push above the 1.1410, just above this barrier, because at the same time we would push above the 100-day EMA, and then more buyers could join in and potentially driving this one towards the 200-day EMA. Similar stories with the USDCHF. It could be, it could be not the strength of the dollar here. It could be just the weakness of the franc. So this, and like I said, the same story here. Maybe we could see that stronger move here to the upside. So let's see how that's going to play out. In terms of like economic data today, sure, keep your eyes actually on the Turkish interest rates are coming out. So that's gonna be 1 week repo rate. Now that's what's gonna be very, very interesting to see. Now, and also from the U.S. we get the initial jobless claims and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, which could be quite interesting. Yeah. Like I said, existing home sales as well from the US, so let's see how that's going to play out. But the Turkish information, that's quite interesting. USD TRY, keep your eyes on that one as well. I'm not going to jump into that one because it's just flat right now. But yeah, just kind of keep an eye. Maybe we'll get some movement in the USD TRY. EuroCAD, still a range, not much to talk about here. I'm just keeping an eye on this. I'm just reminding us all that, look, this could be quite interesting once it breaks out. At the moment, it's not breaking out, so yeah, we're just observing the activity here within this range. And finally, EURUSD, it's a roller coaster right now. I mean, look, we can get rid of this upside line. Previously, I said that if we push above this 0.9835 and stay above it, we'll go higher, or we could go higher. Well, we stayed initially above it, but then we dropped back below it, so we're scrapping that idea. But probably what's more important here is that I think it's time to relook at it in a different way. We can allow it to trade here and do whatever it wants in here. I think we need to get rid of this level. I'll mark this barrier here. I think it's time for this just to kind of wait until it's gonna sort itself out here and then breaks one of these trend lines. Of course, the stronger one is this one, the one taken from the high of the 10th of February. But again, you don't know. Maybe this is going to be that final moment where it's going to break it and go higher. But let's wait and see. Let's not rush into anything. Let's just continue observing this one. And like I said, for me at the moment, EURUSD is I'm just neutral on this, and I'm just going to observe it and just wait for it to break through one of these lines. Okay, so guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, everything, guys. I really do. So thank you for that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Trader's Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.